That's how you're trying to let her know.
Good evening. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the school board meeting this Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. If you wish to speak during the hearing of citizens, please pick up a card in the back of the chambers, print your name and topic clearly, and return your card to our board assistant, Kathy Tompkins. At the appropriate time, I will call you up to speak. Please stand for the flag salute. I would also like to introduce Mia Cevellino and Laura Johnson to come to the podium, who will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Under the Riverview High School Color Guard, under the direction of retired Sergeant Major Roger Mitchell.
Forward, march. White side, march. Colors, halt. Post.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Forward, march.
Thank you, Riverview Color Guard, and Mia and Lauren, thank you for coming up and joining us for the pledge. I'd like to introduce our student representative, Noah Petrowski from Oak Park School. We previously presented him with a certificate of appreciation for joining us today. Welcome, Noah.
Welcome.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You go to which school?
Oak Park School.
Wonderful. Well, we are so pleased to have you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's give Noah a round of applause. We have a number of special presentations this evening, a very exciting night. Our first special presentation tonight is regarding the resolution designating the first 2 weeks in October as Disability History and Awareness Weeks. I would like to invite Sonia Figueroa-Albers, Executive Director of Pupil Support Services, to this podium, please, who will read the resolution. Or do you not have it?
I thought you were going to read it for us.
I can do it if you'd like me to.
Go ahead.
Shall I start? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
A resolution designating the first 2 weeks in October Disability History and Awareness Weeks by the School Board of Sarasota County. A resolution, and encouraging our schools and universities to provide instruction on disability history, people with disabilities, and the disability rights movement. Whereas there are approximately 375,000 students with disabilities in Florida's K-12 education system, and whereas the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 1990 is founded on 4 principles: inclusion, full participation, economic self-sufficiency, and equality of opportunity for all people with disabilities. And whereas a key method of promoting these 4 principles is for our schools to recognize the contributions by people with disabilities to our society and provide instruction in disability history, people with disabilities, and the disability rights movement through schools curriculum, schools assemblies, and other school activities, as it is desirable that state post-secondary institutions promote activities that provide education awareness and understanding regarding people with disabilities. And whereas the legislature also encourages cooperation between the school system, post-secondary institutions, and the community at large to promote better treatment and fairer hiring practices for people with disabilities. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Sarasota County that the board urges our schools to provide intensive instruction on disability history, people with disabilities, and the disabilities rights movement, especially during the first 2 weeks of October and periodically throughout the school year, and encourages other institutions to conduct and promote educational activities on those subjects. Be it further resolved that the first 2 weeks in October of every year be recognized as Disability History and Awareness Weeks in Sarasota County, Florida.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good evening, Madam Chairman, school board members, Mr. Hardy, student representative, Dr. Bowden, and community at large. This evening is about celebration. We celebrate the teachers, the paraprofessionals, and support personnel that dedicates themselves to teaching our exceptional students so they can achieve and transition into productive members of our society. Oak Park School is a place where learning is at the forefront and opportunities are provided for students to excel. This evening, our first showcase of school is about Oak Park School here in Sarasota County. With us this evening is the proud principal of the Panthers, Mrs. Jamie Lowitz. Who will introduce her staff to showcase the extended transition program that we offer among many others. Jamie?
Thank you. I'd first like to start out thanking Ms. Sonia Figueredo Alberts for your support, your guidance, and your leadership. And thank you, Dr. Bowden and distinguished board members for providing us with this opportunity to showcase our school and our students tonight. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Mr. Steve Brown, Assistant Principal, and Mrs. Maureen Bassett, Assistant Principal. And I would also like to take a brief moment to ask Oak Park staff, because we are in the house tonight, to stand up so that we can recognize this group of educators continuously provides quality educational opportunities for our students on a daily basis, and it is nothing short of amazing. So thank you all for being with us tonight. We sincerely appreciate you showing up with us. So the focus on our showcase this evening is to highlight our extended transition employment initiatives through our electives curriculum. I know that was a mouthful to say. Our goal for our extended transition students is to gain skills in a supportive yet rigorous environment so that students can be prepared for life beyond high school and the extended transition program at Oak Park. We provide independent functioning through meaningful and gainful employment, through supported and independent employment opportunities. We began preparing students for the workforce at Oak Park at age 14, and that sounds a little bit early, but we do that through interest inventories and through career exploration opportunities so that they can start to have some self-advocacy and tell us what it is that they think they might like to do once they exit Oak Park School. So, by having them complete these interest inventories and career exploration, we are able to match them with appropriate placements within the community so they can learn the appropriate skills to go out and be meaningfully and gainfully employed. We continue throughout high school to partner with agencies that we want to mention today, APD and vocational rehab. We work very closely with them so that they can provide a continuum of services to our students once they exit our Oak Park family. Okay? All right. So moving on. Got to get my notes here. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brown because he is going to introduce some students to lead us in our Panther Pledge. Mr. Brown?
Good evening, everyone. We are so proud of the positive culture that we have established at Oak Park School. One of the things that has helped us so much this year is our new Panther Pledge. It's our positive behavior intervention and support initiative. All students have the opportunity after the Pledge of Allegiance on morning announcements to recite the Panther Pledge. And every day, a different student gets the opportunity to come on the overhead announcement system with us and do that for the staff. So at this time, I'm going to have two students come up here and show you our Panther Pledge. First up, I'd like to introduce Miss Sadie Barrera. Sadie, come on up. Sadie. Sadie. All right, so one of the things we do is we put up our right hand, right, Sadie? And we start our pledge.
Today, I will be respectful, on task, accepting, and responsible. I am an Oak Park Panther. Hear me roar. Roar!
Thank you, Sadie. Have a seat. Now, you notice the roar at the end. Our students have kind of added that to the end. Our last words are hear me roar, and then we have a nice school-wide roar that you can hear throughout the hallways at the end. Now, all of our students have been tasked with understanding, memorizing, and showing us they know the pledge. If they are able to, they receive one of these nice blue wristbands, and we're proud to say that just under 100% at this point has been able to recite the pledge to a member of administration or their teacher. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Cody Walker. Cody is a high school student who will do his Panther Pledge with his assistive technology device.
So the symbols are all represented on here for Cody, and a friend of his has recorded the voice.
Hi, my name is Cody Walker.
Look at the pictures.
I am in 9th grade at Oak Park.
Yeah, okay. Turn the page.
Turn the page.
Okay.
Doing good.
Doing good.
This is our Panther Pledge.
Okay.
Today I will be
Okay.
respectful, on task,
Okay. I know you're excited.
accepting, and responsible.
Okay. Good.
I am an Oak Park Panther.
Okay, turn
Last
the page.
part, last
Turn
page.
the page.
Hear me.
Ready? You're right.
Thanks, Michelle.
You can go sit down.
Okay. All right. Thank you again, Cody and Sadie. Great job. You did us proud. At this time, I would like to welcome two staff members, Mr. Kurt Ozenberg and Miss Marie Lloyd, to come up, and they are going to talk about some initiatives that they are using in their curriculum for our extended transition kids to work on these life skills and these employability skills. And Mr. Swayze, is this when we're going to do the video? Okay, so we're going to show you a brief video just to kind of get you in the mindset of what we do, and then they will bring their students up and we will share with you some additional highlights.
Aaron, Colin, would you join me, please? Thank you, school board members, for allowing us to be here. I would like to share with you some information with my students and myself.
We want to thank the school board for inviting Oak Park specialists and students to showcase some of the job skills that we are providing. We would like to reflect on some important aspects that make this educational setting a success.
Thank you very much. Our students from the Extended Transition Program work on basic social skills and civility. They learn to greet each other with eye contact and positive verbal phrases. These basic skills can be used universally in the classroom, at work, and at home. And along with the use of critical thinking as a major theme, whether in the agriculture class or in the concrete production class, the use of critical thinking helps the individuals to build self-esteem as they solve daily challenges. Colin, you're up.
We hope that some of the skills you have seen shown the depth of what these students are able to accomplish, from building a chicken coop, hatching chicken eggs, beautification on campus, growing a school garden, and making concrete creations. We want to thank you for supporting our efforts at Oak Park.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen?
Thank you, Mr. B.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Okay. I just want to showcase some of my students that I have in my program. Just come stand right here and show yourselves off. Okay, did I look everything, Colin? Okay. Okay, good evening. Thank you for letting us share our talented students with you. I am Marie Lloyd, and I'm my assistant, Megan Van Dyke, and we work in the vocational art department. And we've actually created our own little business with our students, and we do pretty well with sales and everything. It enables our extended transition students to experience every aspect of what it would be like to run and work in a small business or a company. We are training them on such skills as production, marketing, sales, and inventory. For example, here's my model. We start out with the whole project. We do very well with our mosaic sales. A lot of you have our pieces. They go from everything to sanding the wood, taking orders. As you saw in some of those slides, they make all the little pieces. These students here glaze. Alexa's very good at putting the mosaics together. Lauren has grouted and sealed. I mean, we teach them everything, and all the way to the aspect of selling and collecting money. Our students are also in the process of a big beautification project in front of our new school offices. We're going to be making clay totems, stepping stones, and we're working with Mr. Bosenberg with his kids will go out and measure with the horticulture and come up with the right plants to go with our pieces of artwork. We've also worked with the Greater Sarasota Chamber of Commerce Leadership Program. We've worked with 2 projects with them. We did 30 seabirds for the seabird sanctuary across from Moat Marine. That was one of their year projects. I can't remember which year it was. You were involved. Do you remember what year that was?
2 years back.
2 years, okay. And then this past year, they asked us to do totem poles and 20 stepping stones for the Glasser Schoenbaum Human Services Center for their 2018 program. And a lot of these kids worked on the stepping stones and the clay projects. So we do a lot with the community and involve them, and the community also helps run our program and help create things for jobs. And these kids are wonderful. I can't even begin to tell you how awesome they are. And all the job skills that they're learning in the extended transition program, they'll be able to take and be proud of themselves and hopefully be an integral part of the community. So we thank you for your time. Colin, come here. Lauren. Wait, Alexa, we want our picture taken. Come here, Colin.
This is for the school board.
Oh, okay, but hang on to it for just a minute, okay? Smile.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Get one more.
Put on your happy face.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Oh, Lauren, thank you.
Okay, we have a little bit of a surprise. All right. So prior to you all entering, and if you're fortunate enough to have gotten a seat in here because it's standing room only, if you're fortunate enough to be seated, if you would please at this time check underneath the bottom of your chair to see if you have a pencil taped to the bottom of your chair. No one from Oak Park won, guys. Sorry. Okay. All right, there's one. There's a lot of pencils, so if you have a pen, okay. We got.
No, it's Jackie. No, it's Jackie.
Noah, you're no one from Oak Park won, Noah. Dr. Bowden, were any up on the? Okay. Okay, so if you found a pencil, you found a pen. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. Okay, so Oak Park School is very proud to announce that in November we are going to be hosting a holiday bazaar, which showcases all of the wares that our wonderful students make on campus. And so it will be set up similar to a craft fair. We are renting booth space to them. They have to apply for a booth. They have to let us know what it is that they will be selling. They are responsible for their startup money. They are responsible for manning their booths. They are responsible for being able to communicate to potential customers a little bit about the products that they will be selling. And so it's going to be a 2-day school-wide event on November 29th and 30th. Once we fill our booth space with our students at Oak Park, we are going to open it to select community vendors. I know we're going to work with the ACT program at STC. They would like some booth space. If we have other high schools that would like to bring their engineering kids in or whoever to come in. So we're really excited about that. Okay, so we want to give you some samples about some things that are going to be available on that night. Okay, so to start out, let's see. If you have a pencil that says Pen Pal on the back, all right, come on up. If you have a pencil that says Pen Pal. All right. So these are greeting cards that our DAT students make, and they are hand done, and they range from happy birthday to get well to Thanksgiving to the holidays to blank note cards. But they sell these 5 per pack. And so these will be available at our Holiday Bazaar. And since you're the youngest, I'm going to let you go first, okay? Which set would you like? That one? That's yours. That's the happy birthday pack. Nice job. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Was there one more pen pal? No? No. There should be. Okay. All right. All right, next, if you have a pencil that says woof on it. You have one that says woof? All right, come on up.
Come on up.
Oh, you have a pen pal, honey. Oh, hold on. Where's my pen pal? Oh, right here, babe. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, so that's the booth. All right, next, if you have a pencil that says rejuvenate on it, come up. There's two. Rejuvenate. These are hand scrubs that are made in Miss Pastor's class with her extended transition students. I don't know what scent you're getting. One is lavender, right, Miss Pastor? And the other is chamomile. So it's, I don't know, it's the luck of the draw, but congratulations. Thank you. You can keep that. All right. If you have a pencil that says green thumb, come on up. All right. These are plants that were planted by our horticulture department, Mr. B, and his group of kids. And these are chrysanthemums that you can use for the upcoming Halloween and Thanksgiving holidays.
Keep it.
And last but not least, if you have the pencil that says caffeine on it, okay, so we hope that gives you a little bit of a teaser, and maybe you'll stop by on November 29th and 30th to visit our holiday bazaar. We will be open from the hours of 11 until 3, both days, and it will be held in our gymnasium. So we are open to the community, and we hope to see you out there, okay? Thank you, everybody who helped make things for us to bring tonight. I did. All right, so it is my sincere privilege to introduce Oak Park's 2019 Teacher of the Year, Mr. Shane Swayze. Will you please come up? Stand up here with us? Okay, so Shane is an integral member of our faculty. He runs our PBIS program. He chairs our SDMT. He teaches music. And this year, he is also doing music therapy for our students. So I'm going to turn the floor over to him and let him have a quick conversation about the things that he's doing with his students within his classroom. And then he will present to you the Oak Park Choir for our culminating event. Mr. Swayze.
Thank you. Thank you, School Board, for allowing us this opportunity this evening. The bad news is I don't have any more prizes to give out, so I apologize ahead of time. It's hard to follow up that. Oh.
Remember?
Well,
yeah.
Shh. There might be something, but it's a secret until later. So when I came to Oak Park School, I was actually had a background as a board-certified music therapist. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in music therapy. And for those of you who have never heard of that before, which I'm sure is a number of you, and I won't make you raise your hands, music therapy is an evidence-based field in which a board-certified therapist uses music but instead of teaching musical skills like a typical band instructor or music educator would, you're also really focusing on using music to reach non-musical goals. And so a lot of what we do at Oak Park and in the music program is using music to reach goals such as motor, social, communication, academic, and music is a great tool. If you'd ever want to look into that more, I recommend musictherapy.org for more information on that. And with the help of the Teacher of the Year from last year, Nicole Mayo, who is our new master scheduler, she rearranged the schedule and allowed us some flexibility as electives teachers, and really gave us some options to expand and provide some new services to our students. And so this year, one of those was the opportunity for myself to provide individualized music therapy for some of the students at Oak Park. And so I have over a dozen sessions where I see students weekly, and I use music to try to support their classroom goals and their IEP objectives. And it's really just been a great opportunity to see these students grow in ways that are really, really unique and just really great to see. We have tonight the first ever presentation by the Oak Park Extended Transition Choir. And this is another thing that was made possible with our new focus on extended transition and electives. And I was going to kind of give you a little spiel of my own, but unknowingly, one of the students from the choir wrote me a note this week, and I thought it was a really great way to sum up what we do here at Oak Park and what the choir does. And if anybody has ever been in band or choir or a community band or even sang in church, you know not only the holistic nature of music, but the powerful social aspect of being with other people, participating in music together. And this is what she wrote. I think it's a great microcosm of our school. Dear Mr. Swayze, I was right. I think we should tour Florida. But our first stop is Sarasota County, then parts of Florida. So remember, reaching goals is what Oak Park students are about. And remember, just start off small. Let's start with touring Sarasota County with a school bus as a tour bus. Touring with everything cheap and budgeting stuff in Florida is really the best. Thanks for all your suggestions. Love, Alexa Severance. And on that note, I'd like to invite the choir up. You're gonna need it.
You want us to go down and watch?
Do you want us to go down? Stand back.
Stand back. It's your turn to say something. Samantha. Samantha. Right here. Hold on. Over. Take a step over.
Oh, okay.
Manning, by the microphone. Manning, by the microphone. You in the middle.
You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up.
Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do, and it's that only thick skin. Killed on the inside, no sunlight, sometimes the shadow wins. But I wonder what will happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, the enemy. Calling for the fear and the disappearing. Bow down to the mighty. Don't run. Just stop holding your tongue. Baby, there's a way out of the cage where you live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in. Show me how big your brave is. Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Innocent, your history of silence won't do you any good. Did you think it would? Let your words be anything but empty. Why don't you tell them the truth? Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. I just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. I just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. I want to see you be brave. I want to see you be brave.
Y'all are amazing. We have to get each of your signatures before you leave tonight.
We also have, I was kind of fibbing there. I guess I did have one present or prize. We would like Miss Sonia Figueredo Alberts to come up. Our choir spoke, and we decided to make her an honorary Oak Park Panther choir member. And to be an honorary member,
Okay.
you have to fit in.
Okay. Can't wait to this. I'll be wearing it with you when we tour Florida. And with that, we conclude our presentation of Showcase of Oak Park. And thank you all for listening and celebrating all our students in Sarasota County. We do amazing things for all our students.
Thank you. If you don't mind staying put, I know fellow board members want to make a couple comments. Mrs. Zucker.
That was fantastic. Absolutely great. And I have seen Mr. Swayze teaching these students that you can't believe what you're seeing. You have to go to Oak Park so that you can see the reaction of the students as they learn to play an instrument. It's just the most heartwarming thing you ever saw. And then when you see them using their instruments to blow out to write on the board. It's phenomenal. Whenever I have an opportunity from the Leadership Sarasota, I take them to Oak Park because I want to showcase you, because you are a primary example of what we can do in this district, what we are doing to make sure that everyone has an ability to reach their potential. So I thank you, teachers. I just all of you. It's just been fantastic.
Thank you. Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, I just want to say what a great job that was and how much I enjoyed it. I bought some mosaics before, and you can bet that I will be buying some again later this year, and I certainly will be attending the bazaar. Your principal, Jamie, you're doing a wonderful job. I've told you that 100 times, but I mean your staff and students and the practical side of the things that you're doing, the life skills that you're imparting to these beautiful, beautiful young students, which are just wonderful. I wish I could give each one of you a hug. I'm sending great love and wishes out to you. You did a marvelous job. Thank you again for coming tonight.
Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, you guys did a marvelous job. I was the one person clapping out of sync because I can't keep rhythm like you guys can. But, I mean, people are watching you, and there are people who move into Sarasota County specifically for Oak Park, for what it is and what it does to the children and what it does to the community. So thank you very much, and thank you, Jamie. And Jane's lassoing me to go with her to the bazaar. She's been talking it up, so she'll be getting me there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Brown.
The presentation was wonderful and the entertainment I loved. But the reality of what you do, not only do you help these children while they're there, but it's after they leave the school that's so important. I was talking with Olivia Babis, who works with persons with varying abilities out in the community, and she says the ones that come from our school district are so much better than some of the other schools in the community. And, and that's one thing that I think our public schools have over some of our other schools. I know there's all kinds of vouchers and all kinds of things out there, but it's, if you want the protections of the Individuals with Disabilities Act, I mean, you go to our public schools and, she said when she went to school, it was hard to get the kinds of services she needed. But when you look at Oak Park and the services we provide our kids, it's just, and young adults too, it is amazing. And the people who work there, amazing to come in day after day and all these struggles that you have. It just warms our heart to see this, and I'm going to post it on, I took a picture, going to post it on my Facebook, but I'm going to get there at November 29th at 11. I want to make sure that they're not sold out, because you just took care of my shopping list. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first, congratulations and thank you, Oak Park Choir. First of all, that's one of my favorite songs, so I was definitely singing along back there, but I'm glad I was hidden back there and participating. But I think the work that Oak Park does is, and it's been said here, it is a major differentiator across the state that Sarasota has here, and the beautiful work that takes place. And I want to thank all the teachers and the staff and the families just for the great work and the preparedness that you think well beyond these limitations that are often put on, and that's what really makes it special. So, and Shane, I will never forget the first time I visited there. It still brings tears to my eyes about the amazing work you do, and I'm so glad. Well-deserved Teacher of the Year. But thank you for coming. I love that the opportunity to see the great work and the beautiful work that you guys are doing. So applause. Thank you again. Now, we have a number of special presentations, and I know it is a school night, but if you would do me the pleasure of sticking with at least one more for the next one, I would like you guys to join us for the next presentation, which, if I may, invite Dr. Bill Vogel to the podium.
Thank you very much. I first want to start by thanking Mr. Tompkins for scheduling me so I could be here to hear this presentation. I thought it was outstanding. And I think all of you know how impressed I am with the quality of education that students receive in Sarasota County. And the commitment of the staff here was so obvious, and I really commend everyone for not only focusing on students achieving their highest level, but also focusing on transition.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for inviting me to be here and follow this presentation. Tonight I'm here representing the Florida Association of District School Superintendents, and I'd like Superintendent Bowden to join me here at the podium. It is my pleasure tonight, on behalf of the Florida Association of District School Superintendents, to recognize Superintendent Bowden for completing the rigorous Florida Superintendent Special Certification Program. In order to achieve this recognition, Dr. Bowden has had to attend 5 training institutes that focus on the leadership in key areas of school superintendents. And also he's had to pass a rigorous written exam, which he passed with flying colors. So it's my privilege and to congratulate Dr. Bowden on achieving this certification.
Mrs. Goodwin.
Thank you very much.
Well, I just want to congratulate you, Dr. Bowden. I know that you got this in record time. I think it's a normal 2-year program that you did in about a year. I know that it's difficult. I have worked on being a certified board member and keeping my points for professional development current every year. I just entered some, in fact, in the last couple of weeks. But I don't think we've had a superintendent who has earned this recognition. And you had to take hard tests, and I didn't. So I just want to say congratulations. We think a lot of your service, and this is no small recognition, and we're really happy that you've received this certification. Big job, and many kudos. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson.
I also want to thank you. It shows your dedication to education and the fact that you're willing to go out and learn and get certification and not just be an educational leader, but an educational doer. So thank you very much for continuing, and hopefully that the road won't stop here, that you continue the improvement process. Just I have faith that you will. So thank you.
Mrs. Zucker.
You are awesome. You are, I'm sorry, I didn't have my mic on. You are awesome. I mean, with everything that you do here in the district and everything that you manage in the schools, to be able to continue your education and to get that certificate as quickly as you did is amazing. You were the right person that we hired, and I'm so happy that we hired you. And I can only thank you for coming to this district.
Thank you. Mrs. Brown.
You know, I know they think of being a superintendent is all about education, which, you know, that's what you oversee, the education, but it's about running a district. And there's a lot of work to be done. I mean, we are the largest employer in the county. We've got one of the largest budgets of any of the governments in the county. And there's a lot of laws and a lot of situations that you have to learn how to deal with that are, you know, beyond educational experience. So there's a lot of things that you learned there, but you brought a lot of things to the table with that. And I do hope that you two continue on this road, and so that you can continue to be a better superintendent and lead this district forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And I, too, want to congratulate you, and thank you, Dr. Vogel, for taking the time to come down here. I know we wanted to make this a special presentation and honor you for the work that you've done, and as I said, I know that you accelerated it much quicker than the average, so grand applaud, congratulations, and thank you very much. And you may be wondering why there's an additional balloon on Mrs. Brown's big balloon on her chair. It is her birthday, so if we could all just say happy birthday to Mrs. Brown.
To you. Happy birthday to you. 329.
Man, we really needed the Oak Park Choir there. We weren't. Did not. Moving. So that completes those. I know it is a school night, so we do have additional presentations. But please feel free to depart if you want to get rest. If you want to, give you a couple minutes to. If you're welcome to stay. I don't want to rush you out by any means either, but do want to give you an opportunity. And if we clear the room, I'll pause for a moment. And thank you again for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowden.
Thank you. That went perfect. Bridget, thank you. That went perfect.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you.
For coming.
This was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, Jamie. Good night.
Guys, thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
I think we should motion to approve that field trip.
Let's do a fun bus trip. It would be fun. I think we have to talk to. We'd have to ask Jamie first.
The construction done? Are they done with all that construction?
I'm sorry. I do this to all the time. That's what Get back to work. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, Noah. Take care. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. I don't know that street.
I'm glad Bill got to see some of our.
No, Kathy and I were going back.
It says over 5,000 staff, 900 people. So they have over 6,000.
Moving on to the next presentation, which I know those are hard acts to follow. I would like to invite Daniel Schweid, Human Resource Staffing Administrator, to the podium for the Preparing New Principals presentation. No pressure. No, I'm kidding.
I was sitting back there thinking, don't cry, don't cry. I'm going to get up and speak, and I'm not a crier, and I tell you, that was amazing. And I know they're not here, but I'm just still awed. So it was a great presentation. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Bowden, everybody. I wanted to just thank you for your time this evening for a couple reasons. First and foremost, to recognize some of our amazing administrators in our district. The opportunity to recognize the administrators who have recently gone through our Preparing New Principals program and graduated from that. Much like Dr. Bowden getting your certification for your superintendency, they have now earned their certification to be principals in our district. So it's an honor to work in a district that recognizes the strength of the leaders that we have and then builds them to be even greater leaders and looks from within to promote and have incredible principals in our district. While HR oversees the process in complete transparency, we have amazing administrators to work on this behalf to make sure that it comes to fruition. So tonight I'm going to ask that Dr. Katz and Carol K. Brown come forward and talk a little bit more about our PMP process and our recent graduates.
Good evening. I'm Wendy Katz, and it's been my privilege to oversee the Preparing New Principal program for the past 15 years. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Carol K. Brown, who I'm sure you all know is the new Director of Leadership Development. And it's been really a treat and an honor to work with her this year as we sort of transition. I think you know, but I'm just going to tell you again, I'm so impressed with her. She brings an incredible skill set in working with some of the most difficult schools in Hillsborough County, title schools. I can't comprehend that she was actually a principal and also a lead principal of 30 schools where she provided professional development and support. So I think we're enormously grateful and proud that you know you'll be in good hands with the program. But tonight we are celebrating and honoring our 6 school leaders that have completed the Preparing New Principal program. We worked with them last year, and I am going to present them to you. I just want to share a little bit of information. I won't go on, but I want you to understand that each school district in Florida has to have this. It's called the Level 2 School Principal Leadership Program. It has to be approved. We just recently had our program reapproved, and our program is 2 years. And again, the supervising principals and executive directors recommend whether or not APs or principals are ready for this program. And also, it's important to note that if you're a principal coming from out of state, there's no reciprocity. So they do have to go through this program as well. It's very rigorous. I think it's comparable really to getting another master's degree. It's 2 years. These administrators have to actually demonstrate their proficiency in all 10 Florida leadership standards and 45 indicators. Unlike just taking a course and learning, for example, about how to analyze data in a school or how to really coach and mentor teachers, they then have to have artifacts that actually prove that they've been able to demonstrate that in their schools. So it's applying it. So sometimes it might be about creating a positive school culture, respecting diversity, moving student achievement forward, those types of things. And at the conclusion then, we are saying that we believe that these individuals have the skill sets, the dispositions, and the knowledge to be successful as principals. The thing that really distinguishes, I believe, our program from other programs in the state is the reflection piece. That we say it's not enough for you to do something, but we want you to think about what you're doing. And so they ask and have to reflect on questions. What did you learn about yourself and others? What would you have done differently? What would surprise you the most? Those are the kinds of things. So we emphasize that throughout the program. And I believe we have one of our graduates, Troy Thompson, who is now recently, come on up now, is recently graduated in the last cohort that wants to talk a little bit about the impact of this program. But what they do with these artifacts is they all are now doing electronic portfolios that are all done in OneNote. They do a 360 assessment, self-assessment that gives them some idea of how they see themselves and how others see themselves as leaders. They lead book studies and then select other areas for learning. So I'll let Troy give you just some insights. Sure.
So thank you, Dr. Katz. And as I look out at my fellow PNP graduates, I guess, is that the right term? Graduates. But as I look out into the group, we had a great learning experience for 2 years together. So not only was the content, the domains, indicators, but also we built some professional relationships. I do want to take a moment to thank Dr. Katz. Actually, Dr. Katz, I've been with you since 2008 in leadership programs, Excel, the Leadership Academy, and now PNP. And again, I'd like to take a minute if you can just give a round of applause to Dr. Katz. Thank you. And also, before I get started, I promised one of my first grade teachers I would do this. Mr. Robinson, Mrs. Pedro, thank you so much for the donation for the books. Actually, that event is happening tonight. We have over 60 families attending, and they're all getting books thanks to your generosity. So thank you so much. So I had the privilege of finishing up PNP in 2017, and I'd have to say it was a powerful experience for an assistant principal. As you know, we work with our colleagues, and we have an opportunity to really apply the knowledge, apply the experiences, but not only that, to be able to reflect on what we're doing. As I know my fellow cohort members, a lot of times we don't get a chance to think and reflect because we're just doing the work, making good decisions every day. But the power of PNP was really that reflection piece of hearing, sitting down, thinking about our decision making. Because when you become a principal, what you find is you're making decisions very quickly, and you have to make good decisions based on what's good for kids. And it just gives you an opportunity to always look through that lens. So a very powerful opportunity to do that. It was also essential for us to connect not only one domain with another, but to really understand that our decisions have multifaceted outcomes or effects. So you really have to know if you make a decision, which PNP allowed us to do, it has far-reaching results or, again, effects on not only students but families. For me, though, the members of PNP, as I was very fortunate to be selected, and it's hard to represent such an amazing group of leaders. Cohorts past and present, again, if you look at all the leadership in our district and you ask them, were you in PNP? They would say, yes. So again, as we have leadership all the way from superintendent, our school board, and our administrators, just know that this is a program that is part of making sure that our district maintains its excellence. And leadership is where it starts. And of course, where it all matters is in the classroom. So, and that was always part of our reflection, right? Our PNP group. If you guys don't mind standing up, I don't know if you were planning on doing this, Dr. Katz. Do you guys mind standing up?
I'm going to call them up.
Oh, you're going to call them up? Even better. Okay, good. I don't want to be up here alone anymore. So, but anyway, they're an amazing group. Again, we learn from each other. Again, it was an honor to stand up here and just say a few words. And thank you, school board members, Dr. Bowden, for, again, continuing to support our leadership with a new phenomenal leader. So thank you and have a great night.
So at this time, I think we're going to call them up to receive their certificates. Carol's going to help. And would you like to all to come down, and then you could shake hands with them, congratulate them individually. I just, again, want to applaud this. You can come on up. All of you come on up, and then so you won't have to, as we call your name. Amazing work ethic, deep commitment to continued professional learning and collaboration, and truly making a positive difference for the students and the families and the schools that they serve. And it's been really an honor and privilege for me to work with them. Okay.
It is my pleasure and honor to present Kate Hefner with her certificate. Congratulations. Jamie Hannon. Congratulations. Christy Jarvis. Congratulations. Jamie Kisner. Congratulations. Kent Miller, congratulations. Congratulations. And Allison Ring, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Can we get a picture? I want to get a picture.
Make sure we get a picture.
So
Are we having that down?
I don't know what comes next.
My pleasure. Thank you again. And then moving on to the next presentation, I would like to invite Lindsay Canties, Coordinator for the Office of Community Involvement, who is also you're a recipient of an award tonight, earlier. Did you have a pencil?
Yes,
There
yes.
you go.
I got a pencil. It was the hand scrub.
There you go.
Hope I got lavender.
A winner tonight.
Yes. So let me get situated here. All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening to Superintendent Bowden, Madam Chair, and the board, and everyone else here. I'm Lindsay Canties, and I'm the Office of Community Involvement Coordinator for Sarasota County Schools. My office supports volunteers, business and community partners, and site-based coordinators at our schools. This evening, I'm so excited to announce to you the teams from the 18 schools in our district that applied for and have been awarded the Florida Department of Education Award called 5-Star School. This is for their exemplary, I don't know why I always write that in there because I always mess up, exemplary collaboration with the community during the 2017-2018 school year. The Sarasota County School District has amazing community support and collaboration, which is evident if you go to any school during school hours or after school programs. Our community makes a tremendous impact on our students each and every day. The Florida Department of Education recognizes this impact and the importance of community involvement, and this recognition is expressed through the 5-Star School Award. Because the 5-Star School Award centers around community involvement with schools, my office has been given the honor to work with the 5-Star process throughout the year. I'm so happy to do so. I got to work with a bunch of schools through my first year, and it was really a great opportunity for me to learn about our schools. The 5-Star requirements are rigorous, and schools must meet 100% of the 31 criteria set forth from the Florida Department of Education in following 5 areas: community and business partnerships, which is facilitated by a school business partner coordinator; family involvement, which is generally facilitated by PTOs, PTAs, and boosters; volunteerism, which is facilitated by school volunteer coordinators; student community service, which is a school-wide effort; and school advisory councils, which is facilitated by the SAC chairperson. As you can see, each school has a team, or sometimes it's one person that wears 40 hats that handles all of these areas. This takes tremendous coordination, communication, and collaboration. To qualify, schools must submit a written application and a portfolio that includes the documentation for each of the 31 criteria across the 5 aforementioned areas, with the community and partnership toward improved student achievement. Not only do they document the hard work that they all do, but they provide evidence of educational impact, which I think is a really awesome thing that they are required to do by the state. The 5-Star coordinators work so hard to put these portfolios together, and I don't know how often this has been emphasized, but this is a huge task that schools undertake. There's a reason that not every school is up here right now, or that will be walking up here right now. It takes a lot of effort, and there's a 5-Star coordinator at these schools that does this, and I really want to say thank you to all of you for doing it. I acknowledge the hard work that you put forward for this, and it was really impressive to me my first year learning about your schools that way. This Florida Department of Education Award began 24 years ago, and we actually have a couple of schools that are receiving it for their 24th year. And so we'll get along to the awards. So for the recipients, it's going to work the same if you've done this before. So you'll come up and receive your certificate from Tracy Beaker, Director of Communications, and then we also got the date placards in, so you will have the date placard as well. Then you'll move to the center of the room where Madam Chair and hopefully Superintendent Bowden can come down and take a photo with the banner, so you all can hold the banner here for us. It's small. They walk up. You take the picture. It'll be cropped. It'll be great. So then you'll take your photo in front of the dais. And then after the photo, please move across the room to behind the dais and you can shake everyone's hand and be congratulated that way. So let's get started. Our first award goes to Sarasota Academy of the Arts, and this is actually their 5th year that SAA has earned this award. So please come forward, Principal Cheryl Corwin, 5-star coordinator Kelly Marsh, and business manager Matt McHugh. Thank you. The 7th year award goes to School of Arts and Science. Oh, I'll let the photo happen, probably. Yeah. All right, the 7th year award goes to Sarasota School of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations, Board President Dr. Marilyn Highland, Principal Tara Tomash, Assistant Principal Carl Williams, Assistant Principal Kylie Gannon, and 5-star coordinator Michael Reed. Love the big group. The 8th year award goes to Atwater Elementary School. Congrats, 5-star coordinator Heather Bingle. Is she here? The 11th year award goes to 2 schools. Firstly, Lamarck Elementary School. Congratulations, Principal Troy Thompson. Glad I made the softball cutoff. I'm really glad. Yeah. You're welcome. Yep. Is Dr. Covert here? Okay. And Pineview School, 5-star coordinator Laura Palercio. Good job. Did I get it?
Are you going to? Yeah. Oh, they told me to come too. Hey. I love that you're bringing people together.
Yeah. The 13th year award goes to 2 schools. First is Laurel Nokomis School. Come on up, reading coach Cheryl Catrona, teacher Greg Linguist, ESE liaison Eliana Sorochi, SRO Tracy McCoy, assistant principal Christine Oliver, and assistant principal Heather Wasserman. And okay, so so just kidding. Yeah. In Tatum Ridge Elementary School, Principal Barry Dunn, Assistant Principal Sarah Noose, and PTO parent and 5-star assistant Jessica Feather. The 15th year award goes to Cranberry Elementary School. Congratulations on 15 years. Principal Linda Daniels and 5-star coordinator Carmen Turner. I want to take a moment to thank Carmen. Last year was my first year doing this. Obviously, it was my first year here, and Carmen walked me through everything, so thank you so much, Carmen. I really appreciate it. She's the best at 5-star so far. So. All right. The 19th year award goes to Philip E. Shores Elementary School Principal Allison Foster. The 20th year award goes to Glen Allen Elementary School. Unfortunately, Glen Allen was not able to make it tonight, but if you see them around, congrats on 20. Next is the 21st year award, which has 2 schools as well. First is Fruitville Elementary School. So Principal Steve French, Assistant Principal Jamie Hannon, and 5-star Coordinator Jessica Seltzer. And Toledo Blade Elementary School, congratulations Assistant Principal Michelle Giddens and 5-star Coordinator and 4th grade teacher Kimberly Bobenmeyer. Two schools have achieved 5-star status for 22 years. First up is Lakeview Elementary, Principal Lisa Wheatley, and 5-star Coordinator Megan Wink, or just Lisa Wheatley. And Englewood Elementary School, 5-star Coordinator Penny Scher. She's not here. I know it's a little late. Okay. So that's, yep. Now is the 23-year award, which also goes to 2 schools. First is Ashton Elementary. Congratulations, Principal Christy Jarvis. And Taylor Ranch Elementary School, coming up, Dr. Bill Belander. Lastly, we have 2 schools that have earned this recognition for 24 years since the inception of the award in 1994. So first is Bay Haven School of Basics Plus, Principal Chad Erickson. And Venice Elementary School, congratulations, Principal Kirk Hutchinson, 5-star Coordinator Chandra Riley, and Volunteer Coordinator and Teacher Bethany Burnett, who's not here. Thanks, guys. Congrats. All right. You're good. You're off the hook. Yeah. Thank you. So these awards not only demonstrate wonderful teamwork and collaboration, but it also is an effort by the school to thank their communities for everything that they do. The 5-star award shows everyone in the state that Sarasota County Schools has a tremendous community behind us. Please join me in giving one more round of applause, congratulating all of our 5-star schools.
Mr. Robinson?
Before the coach walks out, I just want to also, when we talk about people who are involved in the community, you know, Coach Cantees is out there in the community too. and when she was talking about teams and different teams, she develops teams. I mean, she creates teamwork like you wouldn't believe. She takes a kindergarten teacher, it's pretty much like that. She takes a bunch of 8, 9, 10 people who are probably too young to be playing, but you know, makes them into a cohesive team. So you know, when you're talking about giving out leadership and community awards, Coach Cantees, you know, you always get one. So
yay, Lindsay! And
good job, Coach.
I like that. Mr. Cantis is out there waving.
He's not coach, but he's not coach.
Okay, and let me make sure. Last but very, very, very not least is our National School Lunch Program proclamation, and I'd like to invite to the podium Dr. Beverly Gerard, Director of Food and Nutrition. Thank you for your yay! Now, are you, okay, I just want to, this says two different things. I'm not going to make the same mistake. So, do I just kick off the proclamation?
Go right ahead.
Okay, National School Lunch Week official proclamation. Whereas the National School Lunch Program has served our nation admirably for over 60 years through advanced practices in nutrition education, and whereas the National School Lunch Program is dedicated to the health and well-being of our nation's children, and whereas the National School Lunch Program has been joined through the years by many other excellent child feeding programs, and there is evidence of continued need for nutrition education and awareness of the value of school nutrition programs. Now, therefore, I, Bridget Ziegler of the School Board of Sarasota County, Florida, do hereby proclaim the week of October 15th through 19th, 2018 as National School Lunch Week. I encourage all residents to become aware and concerned about their children's and their own nutrition habits in hope of achieving a more healthful citizenry for today and the future. In witness whereof, I have hereunto sent me hand and caused the official seal of the School Board of Sarasota County, Florida to be affixed. Done at the school board meeting this second day of October in the year 2018.
Thank you.
Yay.
I was just thinking as I was sitting through the presentations this evening, our employees in Food Nutrition Services have the unique opportunity to interact with almost all children in the schools. All the kids come through the lunch line. Our employees are, as you know, are hardworking, they're committed, they're dedicated, and if you haven't already signed up for National School Lunch Week, and many of you have, and the rest of you need to, right? Absolutely. We would love to have all of you serve as our VIP guest servers the week of October 15th through 18th, and again, help us celebrate what it is we're doing for children. Obviously, the education we provide in Sarasota County is phenomenal, but I want to always mention that when we feed hungry children and we nourish them at breakfast and lunch and the supper programs and after-school daycare programs, and obviously our summer program as well, we're making a huge impact on this community. So all of us in Food and Nutrition Services, thank you for the support the school board, the superintendent, all of our community has given us over the number of years. I was thinking, this is my 34th National School Lunch Week, which is a little crazy, but yeah. It's crazy. So please come out and join us. I'll be serving at Oak Park that week. And Steve Dragon just told me I guess I'll be serving at Southside as well. So I guess that's the way it's going to be. So I thank you so much for all of your support. And once again, encourage everyone to join us during National School Lunch Week. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson.
I don't think that it's right that she counted the time when she started in kindergarten at 5 for her 34 years. So I think that's a little bit deceitful. But I just want to reiterate that it may be lunch program, but she does serve breakfast. She's there over the summer. Even though she's tricking the kids and taking all the sugar out of the chocolate milk, she does a wonderful job absent the fact that she's taking the sugar out of the chocolate milk. I'm not going to forget Beverly.
Thank you again and also for, I meant truly last but not least, because you are a tremendous asset to our district and the work that you and your team do. So thank you very, very much. And you will be seeing, I was completing the sign-up sheet today, so you'll see that soon. That concludes our special presentations for the evening. Moving to the superintendent's report, Dr. Bowden.
Yes, due to the length of special presentations, I'll keep my remarks extremely brief. Wow, okay.
I did not clap for the record, no.
I did. First of all, as is our tradition, I do want to welcome our officer on duty, Sal Giannino from Tuttle Elementary School. Officer Giannino has been with us before, so I'm not going to read his biography, but I do want to tell a short story about him. I had the opportunity to be out at Tuttle last week as our local Rotary clubs were presenting to the 1st and 4th graders a book, and I want to tell you, those kids at Tuttle were outstanding the way they came into the room. They came in, all of their shirts were tucked in, their hands were behind their back. There was only one time that their hand left from behind their back, and that is when they saw their school resource officer, and so they took their hands from behind their back to give Officer Giannino a high five, and I think he high-fived every student in both the 1st and 4th grade. But it just goes to show how our officers have integrated themselves into our elementary school. He is part of the fabric of Tuttle, and we are 9 weeks into this, and I just want to thank you for your service to all of our students, but particularly at Tuttle Elementary School. At our last school board meeting, we spent a considerable amount of time honoring our custodians. We did our White Glove Awards, but we would be remiss if we didn't pause today on National Custodial Workers Recognition Day. So I did not bring them back for another presentation, but I certainly did not want today to pass without recognizing the outstanding efforts of all of our custodians across our staff. You know, we run a lean operation. We expect a lot of them, but when you go on our school campuses, we have some of the most beautiful buildings in this state, and it is because of our custodians, and I didn't want today to pass without recognizing their efforts. I had the opportunity to speak with each of you individually today about a conversation that I had with the president of the State College of Florida. I do want to let you know that subsequent to each of our conversations, I did have an opportunity to speak to Cynthia Saunders in Manatee County, and I just want to let you know that she and I are in complete agreement. We'll be working very closely together to minimize the impact of the State College of Florida's decision to end dual enrollment on the campuses of our high schools. You know, what's so important to me is we have students who don't think about college as part of their future, and we have guidance counselors who say, we have a class right here on this campus, why don't you just give it a try? And it is their introduction to college level coursework. It literally is the planting of a seed. Those students are not going to travel to the State College of Florida. They're not going to enroll online, but because the class is on their campus in a familiar environment, they take a college course and they're successful. And what it convinces those students is, I can do college level coursework. And what we know is that attempting a college level course in high school increases not only outcomes in high school, but completion rates for associate degrees and bachelor's degrees. And so the commitment from Cynthia and myself is that we are going to work to make sure that the decision of the State College of Florida does not impact our kids. And I will keep you posted as we work towards planning for the 1920 school year. The decision by the State College of Florida keeps in place dual enrollment on our high school campuses for the rest of this year. And so I do want to reassure the public that there is no impact on their students' current schedule, but it may impact course selection as we begin. Believe it or not, seems like school just started, but we will begin working with our juniors and seniors on course selection here in December and into January, February. So it's important for us to solidify what our course offerings will be at the high school. I've charged Mr. Cantis with working to find new partners, both public and private, who want to work with us and making sure our kids get that college experience. So there'll be much more on that topic, but I just wanted to give you an update since our conversations throughout the day. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Zucker.
I have no doubt that you will find a way to have dual enrollment on our schools. And it was terrible. Once I saw the college application come in from South County
Collegiate High School.
Yes, for the collegiate high school, I knew this is where they were heading. So this was not a surprise to me. But I also know that they don't know how dedicated you are and how tenacious you are, and that you will find a way for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just add to that. I appreciate you taking the time to make the comments. I know it's no secret. I've worked with a lot of families who, I know Mr. Cantis knows this very well, and the dedication to really trying to offer opportunities for dual enrollment And I am disappointed with this, but it's not our governing body, not our decision. And my biggest concern was any students who are on the trajectory to complete. Obviously, that will impact them. And so, while we are very fortunate in Sarasota to have multiple articulation agreements with post-secondary institutions beyond just SCF. One thing that I always say is, while I appreciate SCF offering this, and there is an opportunity when you have dual enrollment, there is an experiential component about being on campus, so I don't deny that. But my concern would be just ensuring we can think outside the box for transportation in any great program, but if the transportation isn't there, that is one of the biggest disconnects. So as we look ahead, whatever we can do as a board, I think that it's a great opportunity for our families to be exposed to graduating with an associate's degree. So I don't want to lose momentum on that, but it is what it is, and we'll make the best out of it. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. And that concludes Superintendent's report. Moving on to hearing of citizens. I have one card. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. When the timer flashes yellow, 1 minute remains, and you need to begin to summarize and stop speaking when the buzzer rings. Please note that respect for divergent viewpoints and civility will be shown at every board meeting. Whether you agree or disagree with a speaker, you should listen politely and respectfully without making any sounds of approval or disapproval, including clapping. As I said, I have one card. I apologize. I believe this says Lewis.
Never on.
Never on? Okay.
Yes.
I apologize.
In the Sarasota High jacket.
Yes, Sarasota High School. I heard that. And I am a graduate, so I'll get ready here. So my 3 minutes will be worthwhile, I hope. Good evening. Good evening, board. Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm Lou Navarra, born and raised in Sarasota, graduate of the class of 1962, 46-year retired teacher from the Lee County School District. I was here about 5 months ago. I spoke about throwing out at Sarasota High the state and conference trophies. They even seemed to have thrown out the plaque that the late Eddie Howe had made for us. He was in our class. I can't get access to the yearbooks. The anchor plaque is missing as well out there in the entryway of the school. I kind of got my feelings hurt. I haven't heard from any of you since that time, and I was hoping you'd look into it. I'm going to leave you these pictures when we won state and conference. Sailors. That was state. Western Conference. You can't win these like this anymore because they're all divided into different classes. I'll leave you a picture of the medals we got, but our trophies were thrown out. And here's the anchor. I guess I'll donate a plaque if we can put it back. It should have said donated by the class of 62. There doesn't seem to be loyalty in high school anymore, and you wonder why the kids that we made the schools, they're like prisons. What are we going to use? Razor wire next? We walked out in 1962 for our principal, Mr. Sherman. Going to leave you the articles from that. And when do you ever hear of students walking out of their high school for their principal? All you hear now is when they walk out because of murders. It's very sad. 1961 was a long time ago. I wanted to say to Mrs. Goodwin, I wish you'd advise the Lee County School District on how to run a good district instead of these tax increase that we're going through. I think you guys need to focus on the affairs here. I notice your teachers are getting disgruntled already from this Herald Tribune article. I'll leave it for you. They said they needed money, and I noticed in Manatee, that type of property tax, they were going to use it all for the teachers, but now they're using some for SROs. Shame on them. Now I want to leave you with some compliments. Mr. Robinson, I like your style. I really do. And
The only one in the room.
Dr. Bowden.
There's two of us in the room. That makes two of us.
Two of us. Two? Me, you? I don't know. Dr. Bowden, congratulations on being certified. I'll have to talk to Dr. Atkins about that.
Thank you.
You do more for students here than you do in Lee County, and I'm impressed. And I wanted to compliment you all on that, okay?
Thank you.
And thank you for the gift from the kids. I'll put it on my memorial to my late wife. I know she would have loved it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see that you left your information, and we'll make sure that the appropriate
I'll leave
member.
it all here and give it to Linda, the secretary. Here was the Herald article about the pay and all that stuff. I don't know. You probably don't want to see that. And this is the ones we got, but why? I'd still like an answer from Sarasota High School. I really would. Thank you. I'm sorry I went over.
Thank you so much. Moving on, Dr. Bowden, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
There are no additions or corrections to the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No items have been pulled for comment. Are there any additional comments?
I have a comment.
Mrs. Brown.
Item 15 is the agreement between the Research for Better Teaching and the School Board of Sarasota County. It's following the John Safier's work, and 182 school leaders will take this training, and it'll give teachers evidence-based feedback that builds their capacity as high expertise teachers using multiple data sources to assess the growth opportunities. I think we're going to be working on strengthening our teachers, not coming up with brand new things to teach, but working on our teachers. I think that's a good place to be working at.
Very good. Thank you for highlighting that. If there are no additional comments, members, please vote on the consent agenda. And the motion passes 5-0. That concludes. Moving on to new business, I have item number 33.
I move for approval of the new job description for accountant payroll as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments?
Yes.
Mrs. Zucker?
I'd like to know why this is a new job description. Is this a revision, or is it a completely new job description, and where does it fall on the organizational chart?
It falls within Mitzi's department, and she's going to answer that question for you.
Hello, Mrs. Corcoran.
So currently in the financial services department, we have non-degreed accountants. It's a generic job description. So it covers both accounts payable, clerical staff, as well as the payroll clerical staff. Unfortunately, when you look at the job description, you don't see a single thing about payroll until about the 16th item down on the list of duties. So every time we've posted this position that we have had vacant for the last 3 or 4 times, we get 0 applicants. And then when we discuss with them it's to do payroll, they don't have any experience doing payroll. So we decided to take the job description that existed, for which there is a department person out in transportation in that same job. So we couldn't take the existing job description and modify it. So we just created 2 new ones. If you compare it with the existing job description that's out there for a non-degreed accountant, it's pretty much half of the duties on one job description and half on the other. So it was just to separate it out so that, because my payroll accountants don't do any kind of bookkeeping type of accounting or paying bills. They pay our people.
So is it one person or 2 people?
Well, right now I have 4 payroll accountants in my department, and I have 2 accounts payable clerks.
And you have no job description for payroll accountants?
Not a job description just specifically for payroll accountant. It's just a generic accountant position.
Because normally it doesn't come to us as new positions under new business unless it is a new position. So that's what I was wondering about.
So the reason it's a new position as opposed to a revision, if it were a revision, it would fall under consent. It is a new job description because there are current employees using the job description, and so we didn't want to alter their job description, so we presented it as a new one, but it is in the same pay classification, and it is within budget.
Okay, thank you.
So it's not replacing, it's just.
It's not replacing anything. It's taking people who are sitting in a position and changing their
But
type.
while you're up here, is that the same for the next one?
Absolutely.
It's just the way it's been placed.
Because it's under new business.
Yes.
It's a new job description, not a new job position.
And it's not revised.
Correct. It sounds kind of strange because we're taking an existing job description and breaking it into two separate job descriptions rather than taking the one that existed before. I'd still have one new one somewhere because I'm splitting it
Not
into two.
creating new positions, new personnel, it's just.
Correct.
more-
There's no new positions. There's no change to the budget. It's strictly just making it a little bit more specific as to the work they're doing.
Okay, thank you. It's just where it's placed. When it's placed in here, then it means there should be job descriptions added to the organizational chart. So that's why I wanted to clarify what this was.
It's
Thank you, Missy.
descriptions for work, not positions.
Thank you.
Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, I do want to point out that doing payroll is almost night and day to just doing regular accounting. Doing payroll is so hypo-technical. In my office, the number one thing we get notices about is about payroll. The level of complexity when you start talking about the different type of retirement plans, the life insurance, the cafeteria plans, being able to figure out what stuff is exempt from, income tax, what stuff is exempt from unemployment tax, and trying to keep all those different things straight and getting that done, twice a month is a role in of itself. And so simply hiring people for accounting and then saying, oh, by the way, now you're going to do a payroll would be a culture shock to people. So I think this is the right move at the right time. So thank you, Mitzi, for doing this.
I was not questioning the need. I was questioning the position and the placement.
Correct. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will add that our payroll is especially unique here. So you really do need someone with specialized skills. If there are no additional comments, if you could vote on the motion before you, if you have not already.
I think I might have. I did.
Excuse me. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 34, is there a motion?
I move for approval of the new job description for accountant finance, non-degreed, as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Any comments? Seeing none, members, please vote on the motion before you. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the next item of new business, item number 35. Is there a motion?
I would move that the school board authorize payment in the amount of $1,311.75 to the law firm of Hutton and Domenico, PLLC, as reimbursement of the attorney's fees incurred by Financial Advisory Committee member Gabriel Hammett in connection with his successful defense of a suit brought against him by Transparency for Florida, Inc.
Second.
The motion is second. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get over the sticker shock there.
I didn't see the dot there, so I need the numbers there.
There's a big difference. Motion is second. Are there any comments? I know that this, for clarification, and I know I'm putting you on a spot, but because this had come up at a previous meeting, and I believe it was also in the newspaper, I want to make sure there's a little bit of clarity on it, that Mr. Hammett serves on our Financial Advisory Committee as a volunteer position, and that is subject to sunshine. There was a previous reimbursement of fees that was approved, and with it, I believe it's a statute that we would.
Statute provides that upon successful defense of an action brought, the school board shall reimburse reasonable fees. there was a successful defense in the sense that the lawsuit was dismissed. The individual was dismissed. Mr. Hammond was dismissed from the case, and the case was ultimately dismissed completely. So he is entitled to reimbursement of his fees. Perhaps the last one was a bit of jumping the gun because it was not the full bill. It was the first bill. As it goes, lawyers bill typically monthly.
Right.
And this was a second bill that had not been captured in the first one. So the entirety is about $2,700.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify so there wasn't duplicate efforts or if there were any questions. Thank you very much. So if there are no additional comments, if members can please vote on the motion before you. And the motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the next item of new business, number 36. Is there a motion?
I move that
the SCF Collegiate School Venice Charter between State College of Florida and the School Board of Sarasota County, Florida be approved as presented.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Are there any comments?
Yes.
Mrs. Zucker?
This is the collegiate school that I was talking about before, why we no longer have dual enrollment in our schools. And yet we have no choice but to approve this.
For point of clarification, if I may, we do still have dual enrollment in our schools. I know. I just want to. The SCF it's just a difference in next year as to whether it be offered on our campus. That's just a point of clarification. Mr. Roth, did you have your?
No, I was going to point out that this is you always have a choice. You could always vote no, so you always have a choice. I'm going to be voting yes. I voted against just about every charter thing that's ever come in front of the board, but I think that this is a little bit different. It's a government entity. It's not a private for-profit school, and so it's owned by all of us. So I'm going to vote to approve it.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments?
Yep. Dr. Bowden, would you please answer for me what would happen if we did not approve this?
Well, they have a right to appeal. We have accepted their application, and so following the application is the contract. Certainly, you have a right to vote yes or no on any item that comes before you. Should you vote no on this item, they do have the right to appeal to the State Board of Education. I anticipate they would be successful on that appeal, particularly since we've already accepted their application, and any legal fees that they incurred during that appeal, our district would be responsible for paying.
Thank you. Thus, we have no choice but to vote yes on this.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, I'm going to support this because I really like this model better than I do dual enrollment as we have it today. I think we have some issues with the teachers on our campuses and with virtual school as being another mode of dual enrollment. And I think I know of several students in Manatee County who have chosen to go to their charter school and have done beautifully and have really been very successful in their college career. So it's another choice. It's a way of parents accessing this alternative and perhaps saving money on a four-year college. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for South County, where we're getting crowded in Venice High School and in Northport High School. And I think it's also a nice alternative to having dual enrollment, which at Pineview, which I am not in favor of.
Thank you. As Dr. Bowden said, we had already accepted the application. I think it's a great opportunity for students, another choice that has been proven as Manatee, so I'll obviously be supporting this as well. If there are any additional comments, seeing none, members, please vote on the motion before you. And the motion passes unanimously. That concludes our new business. Mr. Robinson?
I just wanted to, I don't know if people know this, but the education community in the state of Florida lost somebody today. Dorothy Huckel, the chairman of the education committee, passed away. I had the pleasure of working with Dorothy for about 12 years now. I worked with her when she was in State House. I worked with her when she ran for Congress. I worked with her when she ran for State Senate. And because of the way the term limits do, she's got to run for State Senate 3 times. She was an amazing lady. And I really enjoyed. I only actually got to meet her one time in my life, the weird as it is, and that was this February. But I'd talked to her on the phone for 12 years before, and true to my form, she's the education chair, and so it's very busy, very hard to get into her office, and I just wanted to pop in and introduce myself because we've never actually met, like I said, and I just took a picture of her plaque. Standing outside of her office because the secretaries wouldn't let me get in because I didn't have a thing. She just texted me back and said, "Stop being an idiot and come in." And so I got to go into her office and finally meet Dorothy after 12 years, and she was a pretty amazing lady.
Mm-hmm.
So really dedicated to education, and she passed away today. So.
Thank you for highlighting that, Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, we really haven't talked about this, and I think maybe we should look to this in the future, but October is National Anti-Bullying Month, and there are lots of initiatives and things that go along with that many school districts are utilizing now, and I think we need to recognize that, and you can go online and look at some of the things that are available, posters and other things, and maybe we should look at doing something next year about this. But, bullying is probably one of the most insidious communications that our students face every day. It's either cyber, it's personal, it's in all kinds of flavors and forms, and it is debilitating, and it kills the human spirit. So just wanted to mention that.
No, great. Both great additions. I will add my prayers and thoughts to the Huckel family as well. I know I had the opportunity to meet her as well, and she has always been a fearless champion of education, but specifically getting financial literacy for all of our children to be successful as they move on, and I hope that we can continue to champion that. And to Mrs. Goodwin's point, I wholeheartedly agree, and I know we do a lot of stuff in the district, but I think that absolutely if we can continue to raise awareness, because it is debilitating. It has been an issue probably in all generations, but it's only been exacerbated certainly through social media. And so whatever we can do to raise awareness and support our students, I'm all for that. So if there are no additional comments, I have some announcements, which I always put my paper away before I'm done. Next board work session is October 16th, 2018 at 8:30. Next regular board meeting is October 16th, 2018 at 3 p.m. If there are no additional comments, we are adjourned.